Hello, my name is Joshua Gilbert and I am in the 7th grade. I would like to talk to you about my project, How Landforms Are Made. I would like to ask you a question. Do you know what landforms are? If you don't, landforms are features of Earth made by it, including mountains, plateaus, hills, and volcanoes. These landforms did not just appear, they were created by God. What processes did God use for each of these landforms to be created? Today, I am going to show you how these 5 landforms are created and what relevance do all landforms hold. What I think will happen is that these landforms will be created in a simple manner. The first landform I would like to talk to you about is a volcano. Volcanoes are formed in a process called volcanism. To show you this, I have a little experiment. All you will need is a tube-like container, baking soda, food coloring, and if you don't have food coloring, don't worry. A red powder will do, and vinegar. If you wanted to make it look like a part of the earth, you can add clay. Volcanism occurs when lots of magma gathers, creating pressure that starts to grow inside a large pool of magma. This magma heads towards the surface of the earth. Once it arrives and enough pressure has been built up, the earth's surface opens up, letting out magma. And now, since the magma is on top of the earth, it is now considered lava. The second landform I would like to talk to you about are mountains. Mountains are formed in 2 ways. One way is when the tectonic plates crash together. When this happens, the rocks have nowhere else to go because it is impossible for the plates to go anywhere but up, and gradually start to form a mountain in the process, called orogenesis, meaning the birth of mountains. The other method is called volcanism. Volcanism makes mountains by piling lava upon itself after it erupts. Another landform I would like to talk to you about are hills. There are 2 types of hills that can be formed: natural hills and mounds. Mounds are made by people. They are also formed by people. Natural hills are made through nature through different ways. One is through faulting, where cracks in the earth cause rocks to constantly move and change the landscape. Another way hills can form is by erosion, where washed away materials from other areas are deposited near another hill, causing it to grow. The final way hills are created is by volcanism. Then there are plateaus. There are 2 types of plateaus: dissected plateaus, formed by the result of upward movement in the crust of the earth, which is caused by the gradual crashing of the tectonic plates, and volcanic plateaus, formed by volcanism. But unlike mountains and hills, they don't form immediately. It takes numerous amounts of small volcanic eruptions to create a volcanic plateau. And finally, there are islands. There are 2 types of islands: continental and oceanic. Continental islands are areas of continental shelf that have become isolated due to a rise in sea level. Ocean islands are formed when volcanoes erupt on the ocean floor. Another way that these islands are formed are through coral reefs, where these corals build up, eventually making an exposed island called an atoll. The reason that these landforms and so many more are so important is that they are our only options as to where we can perform activities such as farming, construction, and etc. based on their characteristics. For example, Where there are plains, we make houses and communities where we live, grow, and develop. We also make food so that we can eat and survive. Though this isn't essential, landforms also give us extraordinary views, such as Mount Everest and Uluru in Australia, to feast our eyes upon. Though these landforms are sometimes dangerous, they are still a blessing to have. In the Bible, I found a verse about landforms. It's Psalms 90 verse 2. It reads, "Before the mountains were brought forth, or ever you had formed the earth and the world, from everlasting to everlasting, you are God." Thank you for listening to my presentation. Goodbye.